following on from my intro video, here is just another little snippet, just showing you what I'm going to be covering in my video series. Hopefully, if I get the hang of this. Fairval charts. As you can see, like I said before, there's only ever 1 or 2 colours going across each row. This is Intarsia, which I might get around to. There is an example of Intarsia. It's basically where you have a picture or a scene in your knitting. So you can have flowers, polka dots, whatever you like. This is the kind of chart you get for it. I really recommend the book, getting a book, because they'll have so many sort of extra textures and pages of things you can try out just using knitting and purl stitching usually. I'll also be teaching you rib stitch, which is where you get, I'll just show you there. Get ribbing for extra stretch. And that's to make a scarf like that. The very, very basic first thing you'll learn is just knit stitch. So knit stitch, you cast on, just do knit stitch, cast off. Then you've got a rectangle, which could also be a scarf, of just knit stitch, and that's all the 3 things you need to know to make a scarf. Really, really simple. And then everything else is just building on top of that. This is called garter stitch, so don't get confused by that. That is just knit stitch, what I call knit stitch. You can call it garter stitch if you like, but that's just knitting stitches over and over again, every row, and you get the familiar wavy stitching there. I've done a bit of knitting here. You can probably maybe see that. The first bit here is just knitting there, and it's thicker, and you can see the waves. It's quite thick, cosy, very nice for scarf. The next bit I've knitted here is smoother, and it's the more familiar, what you probably recognise as knitting. You can see that, you see the like chevron shape arrow of knitting there. That you do by doing a row of knitting, row of purl stitches, row of knitting, row of purl stitches. And that's a very popular way of creating knitting fabric there. That's called stockinette stitch. So stockinette stitch is a row purl, row knit, row purl, and just repeat. So lots you can see maybe that it's thinner than the knit, just doing the garter stitch, the knit stitch there. So it's thinner and smoother. You can do so many combinations of knitting and purl stitches. I mean, these edgings are almost all made up of knitting and purl stitches. If you ever see holes in the design, like there, sort of lacy, see, lace stitches like that. All these holes that make things look particularly delicate and pretty. Those are created with yarn overs, what's called yarn overs. I'll be showing you that in a video later on. Don't be scared, it's not hard. See, all these might be overwhelming to you, but they're all just extras. You don't need these at all. All these different techniques. This is what books are made for, really. Pages of this if you want to try a different technique. But in my videos I'll be showing you all the things I think you should know in order to be able to knit any project. That's what I'll be showing you. Once you've finished with my video series, or once I've finished, hopefully we'll be able to knit anything we like. And then you can add extras like different finishes. These are cables that you have to use a cable needle for. You can learn all these extra things. You can put into sweaters, loads of different textures. I particularly like this one, the bobbles. I like that one. can also add embroidery. The ultimate aim is probably to do sweaters. Sweaters are what most people seem to want to knit. And they're probably going to be the most difficult. Hopefully when I get to the end of the series I'll do a few different projects with you, maybe socks, maybe sweaters, and toys as well. So we can all learn to knit together. Oh, and this is what I was saying before in my first video. This is fulling, or also called felting. You can see the different stages of fulling or felting. You knit in 100% yarn, non-washable type. Wash, high heat, and it goes to a sort of matted texture. You can make all kinds of soft, nice things with that. This is one of my favourite ones, on Entrelac. See that? It's like checkered. I do think videos are a lot easier to learn from though, because I mean I struggled with casting on using just pictures in books, because you can't follow all the different movements with just like 4 pictures. I don't think. I found it quite difficult. So yeah, my next video is going to be about casting on. So if you've got any questions, just ask me on my blog. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll join me for the series. Bye!